Hi, Andrew Bell here, coming to you from the Gold Coast as we break into the second month of the year. There is so much expectation around the Gold Coast property market that it comes as no surprise that we had enormous amount of media attention focused on the event 2016. It's the first major real estate event in Australia each year and is now one of the major national events on the real estate calendar in the country. So we capture this great time of the year every year with the event. However, this year we saw some 40% more inquiry and inspections across the board, with over 3,000 people being recorded at different points in the market. There was a huge spike in the amount of inquiry from interstate. Comments across the board had a common theme, and that was twofold. First up, that they were concerned that prices had got too high in the major markets of Sydney and Melbourne, and they were looking for better value. And the Gold Coast was certainly providing a substantial price differential that was extremely attractive. The second factor was that the Gold Coast had the upcoming Commonwealth Games, and they saw the heavy investment in the Gold Coast infrastructure, and that was going to be a stimulant for Gold Coast region, and that property prices would also benefit from it. While it was important to see just how all those thoughts translate into actions, we were really surprised by the results. Over 2,000 people attended throughout the course of the day of the event. By the day's end, 60 or so of the 100 properties that went to auction were sold. Now, 18% of the properties sold prior to auction, so the 306 registered bidders on the day were there for the remaining properties. Strong competitive bidding was a feature of the day, and it was certainly the most bullish that we've seen buyers in some 8 years. 57% of the buyers were from the Gold Coast region, and the remaining 43% were from areas outside the Gold Coast, which shows how significant the external markets are to the Gold Coast. So that was the buyer inquiry in attendance. There is no question the strongest buyer activity came from the interstate buyers, as they realised the great value that Gold Coast is offering. More so than the locals, who are only exposed to local prices and obviously find it difficult to compare to those interstate values. Whilst investors were very active, it's wonderful to see resurgence in home buyers, and particularly young couples. First home buyers were, again, quite a notable force on the day. What was also very notable was the huge amount of inquiry at our Gold Coast Home and Living Expo. These were people who were not quite ready to buy yet, but were gathering all the information that they needed to be buyers sometime over the course of 2016. A feature of the event was also the release of the Gold Coast Property Report, and I will be providing regular insights from that report over forthcoming e-newsletters, so keep an eye out for that. January also saw additional sales, apart from just the ones who went in the event, like our project at Grand Central at Southport, where we've sold some 51 apartments since launch just on the 1st of January. We're almost caught by surprise with the strength of the commercial property inquiry, which is usually fairly quiet in the month of January. Not this year. There were loads of sales, and the inquiry and the leases on commercial properties are quite amazing. 5 leases in one day, just in the early part of January. We have our commercial event coming up with around 25 properties being submitted on Thursday the 25th of January. To round off the event for 2016, we also have the rent event on the 13th of February. We will have a wide selection of the best rental properties, all drawn together to offer to our huge pool of tenants. It's basically a one-stop destination to secure your rental property for 2016. Any landlords who would like to participate, please let us know on our hotline, 1800 198 009. Well, that's it pretty much so for January. So it's done and dusted now. We're still working through the final numbers, but around $80 odd million worth of sales across the board. In addition to that, Ray White Marine have sold 2 boats recently under the hammer at auction, over $3 million each, and a host of other sales. No question the marine part of our business is really on fire. Well, I look forward to seeing you in a fortnight's time with a lot more information. Until then, all the best.